Okay guys, so in our last video, we did unit conversions. We're still doing unit conversions, so we still want our calculator, but this time we're talking about multi-step unit conversions. So I'm still changing from one unit into another. However, in this case, I'm looking at a conversion where I don't have a single equivalent statement that works. I've got several equivalent statements that I can make work, but because I have several equivalent statements, I need to set up several steps. Okay, so here's what I mean. Let's say I'm told that I have 3.53 meters, and I want to find out how many inches that is. Unfortunately, I'm not given an equivalent statement that tells me how many inches are in a meter. What I'm told instead is that 12 inches are equal to 1 foot. And I'm told that 3.28 feet are equal to 1 meter. So in this case, I have two different equivalent statements, and I'm going to have to use them first. Now, when I set this up, I set it up exactly like I did before. So I'm still going to start with my number given. I've got 3.53 meters. I'm going to draw my time sign. I'm going to draw my line. Because I'm starting with meters, meters are going to go on the bottom. But this is where it gets different. If I look up at my equivalent statements, I can't go directly from meters to inches. I can go from meters to feet, so that's what I'm gonna have to do first. I'm gonna have to take my meters and change them into feet. Now, just like before, I'm going to take my numbers from the equivalent statement. So next to feet, in the equivalent statement that has meters, it's 3.28. Next to meters, I'm going to put 1. Now, I could stop and put this into my calculator and get an answer right now, and then go on to the second step. But in chemistry, when we have multi-step problems, instead of showing them as each individual step and calculating each individual step, we just squish it all together, okay? So here's what I mean. My meters went away. I'm left with feet. I don't like feet, so I know I need another step. This time, I want feet to go away, so I'm going to put feet on the bottom. I'm still trying to get to inches, and I do have an equivalent statement that will allow me to go from feet to inches. So I'm going to put inches on top. So I'm going to look at this equivalent statement. Next to inches, I've got 12. Next to feet, I want to be careful. I've got feet twice, but I'm using the feet that's equal to the inches because I've got feet equal to inches. In the previous problem, I had to use the number that was next to feet that was equal to meters because I had feet and meters. So in this case, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Now when I put this into my calculator, I'm going to do each step just like I did before. If the number's on top, I multiply. If the number's on bottom, I divide. So when I put this into my calculator, I've got 3.53 times 3.28. Any number divided by 1 stays the same, so I'll ignore that, times 12. Any number divided by 1 stays the same, so I'm going to ignore that. So I've got 3.53 times 3.28 times 12, and I get 138.9408. I'm still keeping track of significant figures. It is still based off of the measurement, not equivalent statements. So I was starting with 3 sig figs. So I get to keep 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna cut it off between the 8 and the 9. Because this is a 9, I'm gonna round up, and this is going to become 139. Meters canceled out, feet canceled out. I'm left with inches. Okay? I could have a 2-step problem, I could have a 3-step problem, I could have a 12-step problem. It's really important with multi-step problems that I'm keeping track of my units. Otherwise, I'm going to wind up flipping numbers. I'll divide by something when I should multiply. I'll multiply by something when I should divide. So please make sure you're keeping track of units. Okay? So let's try a second one. This one might take a few more steps. Let's say I want to know if I have 2.5 days, how many seconds is that? Well, I need some equivalent statements. What all do I know? Let's see. I know that 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. I know that 60 minutes is equal to an hour. And I know that there are 24 hours in one day. I have 1, 2, 3 equivalent statements, so I'm gonna need 3 steps. Take a couple minutes, try to set this up, see if you can solve it. Hopefully, when you solve this problem, just like always, we started with the number given. So I had 2.5 days. I drew my time sign and my line. I'm starting with days. I want days to cancel out, so I put that on the bottom. Instead of days, oh look, the only thing that I have days is hours. So I should have changed it to hours in step 1. I know that 1 day is always equal to 24 hours. So that's step 1. That gets rid of days. Now I'm left with hours. I don't want hours, so I need to go again. Because I want hours to go away, it goes on the bottom. I can change hours into minutes. I know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. That gets rid of hours. That gets me minutes. Well, I don't want minutes. I want seconds. So I need to go again. Because I want minutes to go away, minutes needs to go on the bottom. I'm changing to seconds. I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Okay? Just like before, anything that's on top of the line, I multiply. Anything that's on bottom of the line, I divide. When I plug this into my calculator, I'm just gonna ignore all those ones because I know it's not gonna change the math. So let's see what we get. So I plug this in. I've got 2.5 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. This is what I get, 216,000. Well, here's the problem. I still need to keep track of significant figures. I started with 2 sig figs. So I only get to keep 2 sig figs. 1, 2. Because this 6 is bigger than 5, I'm gonna round up. So this becomes 22. Now, if someone owes me $216,000 and they give me 22, we've got an issue, okay? I can't just ignore all of these things. So this number is going to turn into a placeholder 0. And I need to bring all of the other placeholder zeros down as well, okay? So instead of saying I've got 216,000, I've got about 220,000, okay? I'm getting rid of the number I don't know. I'm turning it into a placeholder 0 so that I'm only keeping 2 sig figs, okay? Days went away, hours went away, minutes went away. I'm left with seconds, okay? Do not get rid of the zeros. The zeros are important, but they're just acting as placeholders, okay?